Everyone, it's Mrs. Steelman. I hope you are doing well. We're going to take a quick break from our Symbols of Faith studies and we're going to focus on moms today because today's a special day. It's Mother's Day and we want to make sure that we fill our hearts with all the good things so that we can share those good things with the moms in our life. And when I say moms, I'm talking about all the women in our life who help to guide us and shape us and love us and care for us and support us so that we can be the good people that we are. There's an awful lot of people who do that for us. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge each one of them today. But before we do that, let's listen to a couple stories. I'm going to read a few stories from the Bible about some women who were moms, and some really had to wait a long time before it happened, and then how they handled it afterwards. Let's see what happens. Get your ears ready, and let's listen as I read to you about a few moms from the Bible. God made Sarah laugh, based off of Genesis chapter 8, verses 1 through 15, and chapter 21, verses 1 through 7. Do you remember the last time you laughed so hard your whole body shook? Listen to this story about Sarah's deep belly laugh. Sarah and Abraham had been traveling a long way. They stopped and set up their tents. The bright afternoon sun was hot. Abraham was sitting under the shade of the big trees when he spotted 3 visitors. He ran to greet them. Abraham said to them, "Come, rest in the shade of my tree. I will bring water to wash your feet. I will bring you a meal to make you stronger for your journey." The visitors said that they had a message for Sarah. Abraham ran to her. "Use the best flour we have to bake something delicious for our visitors." Sarah began to knead the dough. Then Abraham ran to the place where the cattle were kept and took the best one of them from the herd to his servant. "Perhaps you could prepare the best calf and make a delicious meal for our visitors." The servants quickly stoked the fire. Abraham gathered milk and butter. When the bread was baked and the meat was cooked, Abraham served their visitors. Sarah took a deep breath and listened from inside the tent as the visitors ate. She heard them ask, "Where is Sarah?" Abraham replied, "Sarah is right there in the tent." Sarah was about to poke her head out to say hello when she heard one of the visitors say, "I will come back and see you and Sarah in 1 year. And Sarah will have a son." A laugh burst from deep in Sarah's belly. "How in the world could I have a baby? My body is old and can't have a baby." God spoke through the visitor. "Why did you laugh? What if God could make this promise come true? In 1 year, I'll return. Sarah will have a son." And do you know what? Sarah's baby was born when she was very old. Sarah kept her baby close. She looked into his beautiful face. She said, "God made me laugh. I believed this day would never come, but now you're here. I call you Isaac because it means laughter. I want to remember how I laughed forever." Hannah's prayer to God, based off of 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 through 28. Have you ever wanted something that you didn't have? Was it something small or big? I wanted something really big. My name is Hannah. I live with my husband, Elkanah. I love my husband, but he doesn't know how sad I am. I cry a lot. I'm not hungry at all. It feels like there is a big hole in my heart. One thing can make it better: a baby. Elkanah thinks if I eat, I'll feel better. He says, "I love you, Hannah. I love you more than 10 sons could love you." But it doesn't help. I want a son. In our world, men can have more than one wife. That might sound strange to you. Elkanah's second wife, Peninnah, lives with us. I'm even sadder when I see how happy she is with her children. It's not easy living together in our village. People don't look at me the same as they do Peninnah. She has children. I don't. When we go to Shiloh to give sacrifices to God, Elkanah gives more of the sacrifice to Peninnah because she has many children. I get 1 share to give to God. I'm also tired of Peninnah making fun of me because I don't have a child, so I decided to do something about it. When we were in Shiloh, I went to the holy place to pray to God. I started to cry, so I prayed with my heart. My lips moved silently. "Please, God, Do you see how sad I am because I don't have a son? Remember me. If you give me a son, I promise that he will serve you all his life." Eli, the priest, was sitting at the door. He had seen me crying and praying and my lips moving. He thought that maybe I was drunk. He stopped me and said, "Don't act like this." I told him why I was sad and what I had prayed. He listened and blessed me. "Leave here in peace. I pray that God will answer your prayer." I felt better. Later that year, I had a baby boy. I named him Samuel, which means God has heard. I remembered my promise to God. When Samuel was older, I took him to Eli so that he could serve God. God heard my prayer, and I will always remember that. How can this happen? Based off of Luke chapter 1, verses 26 to 38. Has someone ever told you something that you didn't understand? Did you feel confused? Did you wonder about why it was said to you? Well, this happened to a woman named Mary. Mary and Joseph lived in a village of Nazareth. They would soon be married. One day, an angel, Gabriel, showed up at Mary's house. He said, "Mary, you should be very happy. God has chosen you for something very special. God is with you." An angel had never come to her house before. Mary was surprised. The angel said, "It's okay. God sent me with a message for you. You will have a baby boy. You will name him Jesus. He will be a king one day. He will sit on David's throne, and his realm will never end." Now Mary was surprised and confused. "How could this happen?" she asked. "Joseph and I aren't ready to have children yet." "This baby will be a gift from God," said Gabriel. "The Holy Spirit will come to you. Your baby will be very special. People will call him God's son. Listen, Mary, your cousin Elizabeth will also have a baby, even though she is very old. God can do anything." Mary thought about what the angel had said. God was with her. She didn't feel so confused or surprised anymore. She said to the angel, "I will do what God asked me to do." Then Gabriel, the messenger from God, left Mary. She had a lot to think about. Just heard these cool stories about these wonderful women who did amazing things and had amazing patience for waiting and understanding and trusting in God's word that he was going to take care of them, even though things didn't happen as they wished. And that's kind of life when you think about it. We're all going to have times when we really, really want something, or we really want to go someplace, or we can't wait for something to happen, and then it doesn't go our way. And it's okay. It's okay that happens. But let's go back to these moms for a second. So let's talk about Sarah. Sarah waited a really long time to have a child. Actually, she thought it was never possible because she was in her 90s when all of a sudden she got this message from God saying, "Sarah, when these visitors come back in a year, you're going to have a baby boy." She never thought it was possible, but with her great patience, her trust, and her faith in God, she was able to become a mom. And she gave birth to a beautiful little man named Isaac. How about we go on to Hannah? Hannah, talk about having to battle through some very hard days as she watched these other women around her have these children. And she sat there wondering, why? Why is this not working for me? This is so hard. I'm being judged because I don't have a child. I'm being judged because I can't compare myself to these other women. And I'm different and I feel different. And why does it have to be like that? Well, that's okay. Her faith yet again was what guided her. She knew that God was going to be there to listen to her, and in some way he was going to help her to deal with the feelings that she had, that great emptiness she had inside of her because she so desperately wanted to care for a baby. And eventually her prayers were answered, and God blessed her with a beautiful little boy who she named Samuel. And then there's Mary. Of course, we all know the story of Mary and how miraculously Mary found out that she was going to have a baby. And not only was she going to have any baby, she was going to have baby Jesus. Imagine the confusion. Imagine the mind-blowing feeling that she was feeling when she heard from the angel Gabriel that she was about to have God's baby, God's son, Jesus. She was going to bring him into this world and be his mother and care for him. She probably was thinking, why? Why did you pick me? What's so special about me? Well, God sees what's inside of each of us, and he knows what we're able to handle. He knows what we are able to do with our gifts, and he gives us people to care for, people to help nurture and support and guide into wonderful people. And we're all pretty blessed that we have these women, these role models to look at and say, hey, we kind of want to be like them. We want to show our patience. We want to be kind. We want to love unconditionally. We want to care for others. We want to have open arms to be there for whoever needs us. So think about the mother type people in your life. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's an aunt, maybe it's a grandma, maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a teacher. Think about those women in your life who have made an impact on you. And today, I challenge you to create something special for them. Maybe it's a simple phone call. Maybe it's writing them a note. We all know that everybody loves to receive mail. And these days especially, it's so wonderful to go out to the mailbox and find something fun there waiting for you. Maybe you could make something and drop it off on their front porch. I know we're supposed to keep our distance from each other, so that makes it a little tricky because we can't give those hugs and kisses and drop off all the special gifts that we'd like to, but we still can find ways to make sure we thank those women in our life who really do make an impact and who love us unconditionally and are there for us no matter what. So please take a couple minutes today. I'm going to give you a couple different ideas on my email of things that you could make just to help inspire you, but let your creative juices fly and flow and figure out what you can do that speaks from your heart to make sure that these women feel loved and know that you're thankful for having them in your life. I know I'm thankful for each and every one of you, and I hope you have a wonderful week and that you'll join me again next Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.